morning, everybody, if you're watching this live. I am not live on this video, but I am live on the feed because I wanted to see if other people had any thoughts or comments about how the two daughters acted at the Christopher Austin sentencing yesterday. So glad we got to watch that. There was not a lot of people, if maybe anyone, that actually had it when it was happening. Glad I might be the first one or one of the first ones. It definitely is something that meant a lot because we all had been watching it for so long. So many of us were really invested. So I'm glad it happened. All right, we're going to be going over some body language of both of the daughters for when they went up to read their victim impact statements and just see if there's any other physical cues that we're missing, kind of break down some of the things that they said, and let me know if you have any other point of views on some of the things that they said or their body language. I love watching body language videos, and so I'm not a pro or anything, but I definitely can pick up on certain things. And then us women, we always have like a natural sense to be able to pick up on certain things, I feel like. So let's begin.
Want to go first? One of you at a time?
Mm-hmm.
The other one can sit.
He said we can stand next to each other.
Oh, okay.
Noticed immediately that Isabella was shaking her head. She looked kind of annoyed, a little frustrated. They were trying to figure out what the two girls were doing standing up there together because they were doing it one at a time usually, but they got permission beforehand and they didn't tell everybody. So some of the attorneys were questioning it before they actually said we got permission. And she does a little bit of an eye roll, looking up, shaking her head. She's definitely
The other one can sit.
He said we can stand next to each other.
Oh, okay.
annoyed. I think it must be Beth that had said something. We will find out later that they really disliked the attorney Beth. The attorney Beth Silverman.
I'm Jessica Sementilli.
And I'm Isabella Sementilli. I'm the daughter who found the dead body you killed.
Now, I just want to start off by saying I think it's very interesting that she started off saying that she's the one who found the dead body that you killed. That is so detached of feelings, and it's like almost blocking out the fact that it was her dad. That maybe that's a coping mechanism because otherwise she is very removed, very detached by that one statement.
Something that I will never get out of my head for my entire life. You had the audacity to cry on the stand in your testimony, saying how ashamed you are. That was a very nice act, but no one has sympathy for you. And if they do, they're just as delusional as you are. Congratulations to the prosecution for knowing who murdered my dad the first night and letting him roam the streets for 6 months. That was a nice one.
Okay, so this part right here lets me know that I don't think the girls really understand the way that our system works. She said, congratulations to the prosecution for letting the person who they already knew killed Fabio, letting him back out on the streets for X amount of months. They didn't do that. That was the police. The prosecutors or the attorneys, they had no control over that. They just got the case and then had to compile what their arguments and put everything in order and timeline to give the best argument against Monica and Chris and Robert. So I think that there's a little bit of blame pushing, and that is not accurate in this case.
And the court system for letting a murderer back on the streets on good behavior. Even better. I don't understand how you all fall asleep at night. Christopher Austin deserves a full sentence. He was there, he made the choice to kill somebody, and followed through. How does that warrant only 15 years? I will fight for you to rot in prison for the rest of your life. It's interesting you changed your story after getting a deal. A real honest man you are. If you get out on good behavior, you get to walk your daughter down the aisle, watch your grandkids grow up, and start over. Lucky you. We will never have any of that, and we didn't deserve that to happen to us. All because of you. To those who were cheering for my mom's life sentence, make sure you understand what you're actually cheering for. A killer to be released.
Well, she kind of conflated two issues right here, where she starts to talk about those who were cheering for her mom to go to prison, and then she says that she doesn't think you understand what you're actually cheering for, and you're letting somebody get out who murdered somebody early. Well, they're two different issues. I mean, their mom was involved and was found guilty, and that is separate from Christopher coming in and testifying and doing his plea that they're clearly upset about, but he did what he said he would do. So yeah, I think again, they're kind of conflating the issue. They're kind of pushing blame onto many people, and it's not everybody's fault in the way that they're trying to say it is. Just interesting because they're both, they're still young. They're still early 20s, but this has been such a long thing for them that at this point you would think that they would know exactly who's to blame, how everything worked, you know, then bringing up the prosecutors saying that they let them back in the street wandering. No, they didn't do that. So I am surprised with how long this has been going on, and they have some of their facts mixed up.
Early. Wishing you a horrible life after your release would be the easy thing to do. Instead of standing here and insulting you, we just wish that you will be forgotten about. We hope your daughter wants nothing to do with you, and we hope she has a father figure in her life to show her what a real man is, because you are not one. You are a coward, stupid enough to blindly trust someone like Robert Baker. We can confidently say that you ruined our life, and we hope that you rot in hell, because no murderer deserves salvation.
So I want to say this, and I know I said it yesterday during one of the lives, but it is very, very common that in these crazy situations, which are, you know, it's a 1% chance that it gets this crazy. It's very bad odds. But in the cases that get this way, the children will grab on to their living parent. And they do black out some of the bad with that. Now, it doesn't mean that they can't get there and they can't see, oh, hey, I think this is what happened and everything. But initially, they lost a parent, and in such a tragic way, and their mom was all they really had. And so very common and normal for that to happen. People don't need to be writing them death letters. I still am in awe and shock about that, because that is so not okay.
Over the years, my sister and I have been called brainwashed. Let me set this record straight and say that's not true at all. We are just two daughters who lost two parents trying to navigate life after a horrific trauma. Just because we are not media hungry doesn't mean we are clueless. We've approached the situation with integrity and class to the Sementilli last name, which is something both our parents taught us from a young age.
So I waited just a second because they said this court, prosecution. Now she is reading, she's looking down, she does not glance up or make eye contact, but I thought maybe the other sister would, because they both seem to be pretty riled up about individuals and parties around this entire thing and casting blame. But no, she's staring down at her sister's paper too. So I thought it was very interesting that they both were unwilling to engage in any eye contact when talking about parties who are sitting right there in front of them.
I'd like to see anyone in this room, those watching on TV, and those who sent us hate messages to try to be in our shoes for a day and see if they can endure even half of what my sister and I have endured for the last 8 years, and to come out of it stronger than ever, surrounded by love and support. This part of our story does not define us, and we will share our story one day. But for now, we will continue to bring peace back into our lives. Lastly, we are so disappointed in this court, the justice system, and in the prosecution for giving a murderer, Austin, a plea deal. As we said before, we are not sure how you sleep at night, knowing that a murderer will be back on the streets in 15 years. Heather, one of the prosecutors.
And there it is. That's what I was looking for. The one not reading it right now, she did glance up and give a look to whomever it was, the attorney that they were just then talking about. Beth Silverman is also next to her, so it's going to go straight into that. But that is what I thought would happen, and it's interesting. It didn't happen right away, but it is.
Prosecutors once told us that she has a daughter around our age, and she can't imagine what we're going through. And that's really rich, coming from the person who gave one of the men who murdered our father a plea deal. You obviously didn't care about us or about justice. Beth Silverman, the other prosecutor, never treated my sister and I with respect. She allowed for my phone number to become public and let me receive countless hate messages. She continued to make it known that she did not care about us when she would make us wait at the courthouse all day to be called as a witness, only to eventually not call us. And we know all of this was done on purpose.
So I said my own opinions on Beth Silverman yesterday, but I'm going to say it again. I think that the girls are being overly sensitive. I do not think that Beth Silverman did any of those things in malice or anything at all. We know how the court system works even just by watching the trials, let alone if you have jury duty or you attend one. And yeah, it happens a lot that if you have witness that you have called to be there, time goes on, and sometimes it can't happen that day. That's very normal. And as we saw in this trial, how long it went on for and dragged on with all of the different witnesses, that's exactly what happened. It wasn't trying to be malicious by making them wait a day. It was beyond her control, and that was what was happening.
My sister and I are the only victims in this case. We are the ones who lost a father. We are the ones who lost a mother. We are the ones who are receiving hate messages. And we are the ones disrespected by the prosecution who gave my father's killer a chance to see his daughter again, when we will never get that chance. I hope we have made it known how corrupt this justice system is, and we urge this court, those watching, to give Austin, a murderer, a full life sentence for the murder of our father, who we love, think about, and miss every day. Thank you.
So there it is. They got done. They did look up to the judge. They both said thank you, so they were being respectful. I completely understand why they have so much emotions, anger, maybe hate even at this point. I am so curious to know if they will write their mom and read it out loud for her sentencing. Because as harsh as they're being to Chris right now, their mom was found orchestrating the entire thing. And that is supposed to be someone who loves him, and there would be a whole bunch of feelings involved. So the question will be, are they going to be able to remove their own feelings and write this victim statement during their mom's sentencing? Or are they not going to do it and continue to not give her any of the blame? Now, I do think at this point they do blame her for some things, but I think we'll really be able to gauge where they're at when it comes to her sentencing on June 7th. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any thoughts on them talking and their body language or different things you may have heard that we haven't discussed in the last 24 hours, please write in the comments, because I love reading through them. Some of you guys come up with things that I had not even heard of, and then I fact check and you're right. So I love getting comments from you guys. All right, I will see you later today.